Hey, we made it. Uh, we're a little late, or later than usual. This is a new comic book day book club. Welcome. My name's Alec. You know me, probably. If not, hello. I also have this goober over here named John.
Hello, I am the goober.
And we got Comics Misexplained joining us today.
It is I, your boy, Comics Misexplained.
Appreciate everyone staying up a little later than normal. We just had a little scheduling snafu, and no one's paying for it more than me, so
Yeah, sorry about that, brother.
that's okay.
The original worry, though, was that there is a new Comic Core kind of being planned out, and Jason and I are trying to organize that and make that really happen. And we thought it would be premiering tonight, and we wanted to have a little buffer of time. And then Alex's work schedule was the same, and so we kind of had moved because of that. But then the rush to get the new Comic Core together, we didn't think we had enough time to really get it up and running for tonight. So that got pushed a couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that. And then, but that just gave me time to actually read this book, because I will say I didn't read it until about 7 o'clock, so about an hour ago.
Yeah,
Same.
I literally just finished reading it before I launched the Hangouts.
Same.
And so at least it's fresh in my mind. Bear Island Comics says, "Do McConaughey. Impressions are only for auctions. I apologize."
Yeah, impressions are auctions only. You gotta pay. You gotta pay to play.
Pay for the show. Comic Books NYC was in here off the jump. I Got Issues is here. As always, Wingnut. I Got Issues said he's sick as hell. I apologize. You should go to bed and watch this on the replay. Not that I don't want you here, but I want you to take care of yourself as well.
You're not wrong. It's supposed to be on my channel, but we also swapped that schedule just so that I'm not doing the Comic Core on the same nights I'm hosting.
Yeah, so we screwed everyone up. I apologize. I'm glad some of you made it. Gorilla Ground is here. SWP Goat is here. Comic Head 84 is here. Comics for Thomas. Bear Island Comics. I shouted you out already, but hello again. Perry Comics. Who else we got? Anyone? Bake the Snake.
Bear Island.
Comics Misexplained is in the chat as well. Kachung is here. Mr. Garrel, what's up, everyone? Thanks for making it on this late night. So we're talking about this book, Criminal Number 2, which Barbarian Kung Fu, what is up? Conveniently, I was not aware of this, is kind of, I felt like it was fairly standalone.
Totally. Totally.
You didn't read the first one and you decided to pick this one up, good for you. You got to read a cool story. Maybe. Let's see what we think.
Personally, before we got too into it, I was curious because I have never read Criminal before. I am not familiar with, because I know that it has done several iterations, or at least several collected volumes up to now. I was curious, is it usually like this, where it's sort of disparate at the beginning and then it somehow weaves together as the stories go along?
Not to this extent. Each Criminal volume is kind of its own story, but they aren't like, I was surprised that this was so far removed from the first issue.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I guess apparently they all have like the same overarching characters. You might see like maybe volume 1, like a little girl that's maybe a character or something, and then she might appear like a couple volumes later as an adult and go through like a bunch of problems. I too have never read any of the Criminals, but I did like a lot of research on the series. Yeah, apparently that's how they work. And so this one totally surprised me, being not a continuation of the last one. But that's pretty cool. They're going to switch it up. At the end, it said like
to be continued.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if they were talking about to continue the first story or this one. I was kind of like,
this one definitely left it on a cliffhanger, sort of, or like left unfinished feeling, like,
right.
So I don't know, maybe the stories are going to intertwine. D-Rump Comics in the chat, hello.
So anybody who hadn't read the first one centered on a criminal, down on his luck in some ways, who is able to get out of prison because of his son, who pulls off a rather graphic crime to start the book off. And then he owes a lot of money as a result of his son's crime and has to figure out a way to get the money back. And it sort of ends with him conceiving of a potential heist at the end. He's sitting in his car realizing, oh, I think I have a way of getting back the money that I need to pay back. It's funny because in that way, it almost mirrors this story.
Yeah. Although for much different purposes or different motivations, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. But I felt at the end that similar moment of sitting in a car and realizing like there's a job. Yeah. We got a job. There's a job we could do.
So maybe it's going to be some sort of mirroring like type of thing that they're doing. But since this is standalone, I feel like we can talk about it on its own.
Yes. So for those that haven't read, this has a, for those that have read, I have just been recently reading Cover by Brian Michael Bendis, which has to do with a comic book professional being caught up in espionage. And this has a comic book professional being caught up in crime. And in that way, I felt some similarity to story. But we have a gentleman in the story at the beginning who is who gets a phone message that reminds him of his job when he was first out of college as an intern working for a famous comic book artist, a writer, and being forced to kind of go back into that life again, even though he both loved and hated the professional he was working for.
Yes, and JD was messaging us, flipping out about it. It is definitely very lovingly, kind of referencing the comic book industry. Has like a lot of references. Like it definitely is written by someone who is a comic book fan. I'll say that much.
Yeah, it combines like actual real people with fictional characters. I thought that was a really fun touch.
Yeah, they bring up Jack Kirby and my boy Barry Windsor Smith, even Stan Lee, and but then talks about this guy who's completely fictional, and some other editors and stuff that I don't believe are real, but I might be wrong. I don't know. I'm not up on my editor game from the 70s. Right. But anyway, so not to go too much into the plot, but basically, so like John said, this guy was his assistant. He ends up being requested personally by him to kind of be his chauffeur and his, keeper for this convention that he's going to make sure he gets to places on time. And he can't really figure out why. And it turns out that this old curmudgeon-y guy had some artwork stolen from him, and he's trying to track it down. And there is some violence involved and some criminality, if you can believe it.
Yeah, I guess apparently he's broke, or I guess not doing so well, but I guess it's
gambling debts and
it's his own fault. Yeah, it's his own fault, and he sold off his old artwork, which he saw get flipped over and over throughout the years, exponentially, and more value. And apparently, they're making a show about one of his characters, that he helped create, and
that he lost the rights to somehow,
right?
In what seems like something that was not in his favor. But they really make him out to be a real dick.
Yeah. He also seems to not fully remember or recall what he does when he's selling off all of his old pieces. Because there's definitely were moments when it seemed like, he wasn't fully keeping track of it. I mean, obviously, there were certain ones that he is obsessed with, right? But even she was like, dude, you sold them. Like when he towards the end, when he talks to a woman about it, she's like, you sold those. Like, hello. Like you sold all those.
Yeah.
So there's a part of this that there's for me that having family members with things like Parkinson's and whatever, it just reminds me of that sort of dementia element of old age, where he is clearly having a lot of anxiety. This cartoon creator or this artist is having a lot of that intensity as far as wanting to keep products in his own hands. Whatever these, it does feel like there's another layer of meaning to whatever these items are that have gotten out of his hands. But he can't control the anxiety he's feeling about it.
JD's in the chat said there's so much fun in this book. No Buscema, though. I thought you'd hate it because they didn't bring up Buscema.
Yeah, I was waiting for JD to show up here. I know he was really antsy to talk about this one.
Well, now I'm not going to say anything, NYC.
Me neither. I think we're going to shut it down right now. Done.
Shut down.
Game over, man. Game over.
I can't control Jason, but I can control me.
I don't know. I think my favorite scene was probably when he caught up with that guy in the bathroom.
Dude, yeah, that's really where it obviously took quite a turn. He just pulls a gun out on this guy in the bathroom and is accusing him of stealing his artwork. And
yeah, cold cocks. There's lots of moments when this cartoon or this comic artist basically just sort of does whatever he wants, right? He I don't know if it's that he harkens from a different era of how to live, or if he's just lost so much control over himself that he's running on empty in some ways. But the moment I always think of, I thought of when I thought of him being on the edge is when he's on the Comic-Con floor talking to a woman in cosplay dressed as his character that he created. And he propositions her like she's a prostitute to go up to his room. And of course she fully slaps him. And when our hero goes to ask him, like, why would you do that? He was like, well, what? She's one of the girls, one of the show girls, the booth girls. Like they're all up for it. What's the problem? And he's like, no, that's a person that chooses to do this. She probably made that costume.
Yeah.
And the old guy's like, why would somebody choose to dress like that?
Yeah. I thought that was very funny and also obviously incredibly offensive for so many reasons.
Oh, completely.
Yeah, but he definitely harkens from a different time. You know, I don't think he realizes how things have changed over the years. He's kind of in his own world and he's been in his own world for a while. And yeah, he was like, what, she dresses like that for free? Like no one's paying her? Yeah, like,
he
thought they were all prostitutes.
Why would somebody do this?
I would argue that it's supposed to be offensive, obviously, in the sense that we're supposed to look at that guy as just like, wow, what a scumbag. And it serves its point in that way. I don't think that it was offensive beyond that because I feel like it's clearly viewed in a negative light that moment. Even our hero goes up and is like, she made that costume. Like he's clearly looking at it as like, she spent time and energy on this thing that you created. Where's your respect for her? You know?
JD said the disclaimer at the end was cool. I unfortunately did not have time to read any of the extra stuff, so I don't know what the disclaimer was.
Yeah, hit us up, JD.
And Drew Manchu said cosplay is not consent. Absolutely the case. I, no offense to anyone who likes cosplay, it is not for me. So I got a bit of a kick out of that because I don't get the appeal of dressing up. I mean, like I guess I get the appeal of dressing up, but I don't know. It's not my thing.
You're never a Halloween guy.
Not a Halloween guy, no.
So this is what the costume looks like when it's original form. This is the drawing from the comic that they show you. And then the woman in the line at the convention that he talks to is right here. She's dressed. It's kind of I mean, I see there's a slave Leia element, but it feels more like a Deja Thoris kind of thing, you know, like a Red Sonja kind of a deal with the sword and all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, she just absolutely slaps the daylight.
Don't misunderstand me, Comic Head. I'm not firing shots at cosplay. I am all about everyone living their own truth, and that truth is not mine. That's all I'm saying.
Shots fired.
So if you enjoy cosplay, more power to you. If that is what you enjoy at Comic-Cons.
Yeah, JD's saying it's definitely fiction, but it reminds him of Steranko. For me, I heard stories about, you know, Crazy Kirby and how off the rocker he could get at times, and how intense he could get at you know, how uncomfortable he was around people and things like that. I could see a lot of famous artists from that era, you know, even if you looked into television and movies, being lumped into that, you know. the stories about Hitchcock and John Ford
and Bryan Singer and
well, that's the modern, yeah, the modern equivalent.
I was going to say that really hasn't gone away.
Louis C.K.
No,
yeah,
I don't think it's gone away. I just think that he is of a certain era, and I was just trying to find comparisons in that era, but in other fields. If you want the modern era, yeah, you get obviously a lot of.
I got issues just pushing a line here.
Jeez. Yeah, here
cosplaying a member of Mastodon the whole time. Yeah,
here in Pittsburgh,
this is my Brett Hines costume.
Here in Pittsburgh, like in the music scene, there's an old kind of venue that's no longer around, but this guy is still alive. He's called Johnny Banana, and he used to run like this like punk venue back in like 70s and 80s. And there's stories of him just like shooting through walls and just doing cocaine all night, and just being wild, But so like it's kind of like of an old time. He reminded me of this main character, or the artist, the creator. Is the way he was just kind of a wild card and did his own thing, stuck in his own world. But yeah, this totally reminded me of Johnny Banana.
Johnny Banana, it's a great punk name. So I probably should have said this off the jump, and no surprise to anyone about how much I like this, but boy, did I like this book.
Yes, two thumbs up.
How do you feel like it compared to book one? Because for me, I really, really liked book one, and I kind of liked this one.
All right.
I loved both. I think I do love issue one more. I do love the references of the second issue with the mixture of real people and fictional characters. It's kind of seems like a more realistic world as opposed to the first one. Just kind of, even though it's more a reality-based world, it's just kind of more fantastical. But I do love just the mixing of characters and how at first you think you're the main. It starts off with one character, then it switches to like another character, and it switches to another character. As being the main character, the main protagonist. This one, it was kind of just more straightforward, not so much jumping around. But even with all that jumping around, I still think issue one was a little bit stronger. But that was just my preference. But
Johnny Future, welcome to your first chat. Welcome. Sorry to cut you off, buddy.
No, I'm saying that as a comic fan, issue two was a lot of fun.
Right. So I would probably agree with you. I think like looking at it without that lens, I think one was like better, but I think that this like I enjoyed more. There's an issue of Optic Nerve, forget what issue it is, I have it, about two girls going to a comic convention, and it's has that same feel to me. And sorry to be like the indie nerd for a minute, but if any of you have not read any Optic Nerve, it's quite good. But
not part of your scene says it's hard to compare from issue to issue in something like this because nobody ever says chapter one of this book is solid, chapter two dropped off. I can agree with that. But when it's published episodic like this is, it's hard not to, just like breaking down episodes of a TV show versus the seasons of a TV show. I think it's hard not to look at it that way. For me, like issue one, and again, having never read Criminal, issue one reminded me a lot of my favorite crime kind of fiction, whether that's 100 Bullets in comics or something like Mean Streets in movies. It just reminded me more of that. It felt more in touch with that. This just felt like it was finally at the end getting to the crime side of this, and it never just got there. It just I didn't hate or dramatically dislike the comic book stuff. It just felt really slow.
I'm getting a lot of crap. Issue said no one's read Optic Nerve. Well, I have, so there's at least one person. Probably a Rob book. It's not. It's by a gentleman named Adrian Tomine. It's quite good. I know.
Probably a Liefeld book, says Issue.
My point is, though, that they both are similar in the fact that they are books about comic books in a way. And I really like that, where it's like this, it's kind of not really breaking the fourth wall because it doesn't at all, but it still is it is about the world you're experiencing in. So it's like you're reading a book about a book. I'm not explaining this correctly, but my point is that it's a book about comics, and I like that.
Yeah. And I think, I went straight to cover when it was talking about this, because I've been reading that Brian Michael Bendis comic, and it centers on a comic book artist who gets pulled into elements of espionage. And so for me, there was an element already of mixing, violence and comic books in a sort of more realistic, fat manner. So for me, I was like, yeah, I get it. I'm interested, but I was waiting for the crime element to come in. It just felt like something of an unstable old guy, and I wasn't as interested in like, where's this going to go?
Yeah, I feel like this one still has some criminal elements in it. They had the fake cell.
It was
frames,
right at the end.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of towards. It was kind of. I felt like it was kind of
right at the end when they really do that moment.
Yeah,
where
the
they
fake cells and the fake, the autographs, the forges.
Not everything.
It just felt like an unstable old guy trying to make money. It didn't feel like high crime or at least grand larceny. At the very end, when we get the hint that the handler character might be connected to some crime and be able to assist with a larger heist, that's when it, for me, was like, okay, this felt like now we finally reached the beginning of this story. And that's the part that really frustrated me. I was like, dear God, we just got to the end and now this damn book's over.
It's something called pacing, John.
It was almost like another new issue one,
It was not paced
well.
I agree.
Not everything has to be prison fights and shootouts.
For me, like the closest I can compare it in the comic world for me is 100 Bullets, and I would say it's not 100 Bullets.
Yeah, you're right. Listen, I'm a 100 Bullets fan. Criminal is a superior book.
Yeah, I feel like Killer Be Killed was kind of like this as well.
John just shut off his camera.
Oh, geez. He's upset.
I firmly disagree. For me, I'll go back and reread 100 Bullets 100 times, but I don't know how often I'll be rereading.
You also have read 2 issues of this and 100 issues of 100 Bullets, and I have read all of Criminal.
Okay. Which one? Here's a good question then. If I was going to go out and search for a trade, which one do I go get?
Just start from the beginning. I was actually going to order you the first omnibus that I have as a gift, but number one, I'm not going to now because you're being a jerk bag. And number 2, I found out it's out of print and it's super expensive, and I had no idea.
Oh shit! I want to say my LCS had some of the trades, but I don't think they had the very first one either. So I'll have to check with my guy.
Yeah, I'm also definitely going to go and explore the rest of the volumes of Criminal. I might start from volume 1. I might even go and reread Killer Be Killed, because I kind of started towards the end and then read some of the beginning. I just kind of want to do it all in one sitting.
Yeah, Killer Be Killed was real good.
Mm-hmm.
See, I've never read that either.
Yeah, well, because you don't read good comic books.
Well, that is very true. We already know that. But I'm really limited on Brubaker. I think really the only thing I know for sure that I've read of his is that Captain America run, and that's pretty much it. I can't name a whole lot of Brubaker that I've read.
Yeah, you remember that first episode we did when John couldn't stop talking about how much he loved Ghost Spider?
Yeah, oh yeah. I was really going on and on and on about that. I do like the character. I'll admit to that.
TJ says, John. TJ says, John, you should always listen to Alec.
I know.
This is true.
Gotham Central.
I should.
Yes, Gotham Central.
But it doesn't mean I will. I heard Gotham Central is Gotham Central Brubaker as well?
Yeah, it's Brubaker and Rucka wrote it together. And
because I heard several people tell me I got to read that, and I've never done that as well.
You never read his Daredevil run?
And I've read. See, was it? Did it go Bendis and then Brubaker?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I've read. I just haven't read all of the Wade run, which was third, right? It was Wade.
I got it. She said I'm putting together a mystery box called a jerk bag. You get a travel side lotion and 3 cheap comics for $17.50.
Yikes.
That's
so I have read the Brubaker and I've read the Bendis, and I would say I prefer the Bendis. But that's just me.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like the Brubaker run didn't end as strong as it started.
Well, neither is this show, because it is over. This is the last episode, everyone. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
It was good. It's good while it lasted.
Thanks for joining us for it's an implosion. Comics Misexplained.
Oh my god,
it was a pleasure.
Oh my god, this is hysterical.
So
I was curious to know. Do you know what this like? Do they normally do like 6 issues and then finish the story, or is it a year, or how do they do a criminal run usually?
I can't recall that it's necessarily always been the same amount of issues for an arc. There's been some 6, some 12s, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, they definitely differ in size.
So I know that this is already on my poll. Was after the first issue. What about you guys? I've got a feeling John is not going to stick with this one.
What? How could you not? No, are you really Are you really going to not have it?
I am really trying to be hard on my pull list, man. And I just don't think I'm going to grab the next one.
What, dude? You're not even going to see how the story's going to finish.
Yeah, and I'm not going to tell you.
Dude, are you guys reading Die at all?
Yes.
The reason I bring that up is because like issue 1 was a certain style, issue 2 was as well, and the third issue was like one more kind of different way of telling the story. And I thought, we'll see how issue 3 is at this, because it might be another different way. But
Die's been interesting. It's definitely like continued the plot a little bit, but I feel like they're building more right now than they are progressing, which I don't mind. Because like I said, I don't mind an intentional pace to a comic book. John,
I freaking love Die, and that's going to definitely stay on my pull list.
So I told you, and I think TJ, I bought randomly 3 Image number 1 9.8s today on eBay, and I got them all pretty cheap. And I was looking for a Die number 1, and they're not on eBay yet. I would have thought there would have been enough time since they came out that people would have gotten graded.
Yeah, wow.
Were there any graded at all, or just no 9.8s?
There was 1 recently sold, and that's all I could find.
Huh.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah. I just want it because it, it's my favorite cover from last year.
Oh, no doubt.
Which cover were you going for?
A cover.
The one with Ash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real good. So, yeah, Criminal on my pull list.
Yeah, same. Sure. Sticking it out, man.
Yeah.
For sure. Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Take the Time Collectibles is going to win me over. Look at him. He's like, if you promise to read them, I'll send you the Criminal trades.
Oh, man.
That's a deal you can't turn down.
No, it's a deal I will definitely not turn down. Find me on Instagram, John's Comics With.
There you go.
I will fully read them, and I will make a video on them. And I won't invite Alec.
Oh, really? Can I just sit quietly in the corner and grin as you eat crow?
He'll be in the chat with issues throwing shit. What do you think?
So speaking of just really quickly, I've been catching up on some books, and I foolishly bought some of these Age of X-Man books.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Which ones did you get?
I got the first one, the Age of X-Men introduction book, and I got the Marvelous X-Men book. The first one ground my gears so badly because it's literally an ad for all the other series coming out.
Oh, jeez.
It'll be like, it'll have a scene, it'll be like, asterisk, you want to find out what's happening with this character? Read this book.
I read that. Yeah. It happens like 4 or 5 times for like all the series.
It is appalling.
Sorry.
Yeah. That sucks.
But I still bought one of them today, like an idiot. But it's the one with Glob. So
okay.
I can't say no to Glob.
Yeah, I like Glob. There's something endearing about him. I don't know. I like him. And like innocent.
Yeah, and just the way he's drawn always makes me laugh.
I think the one I'm least looking forward to is like the hippie apocalypse. Like I don't know why they have like a apocalypse preaching love and stuff. It's like, what are you doing?
I kind of get it because it's like disrupting the world that they've created. So he's like in a way using something that you wouldn't expect him to mess up and bring down this utopia. But it looks weird.
For sure. Did you pick up anything else today?
Yeah, I bought geez, I don't even remember. I bought Batman Who Laughs 3, even though I haven't bought 2 because that cover was dynamite.
So good. I love this cover so much.
So I have to go back and get 2 now. I got Blackbird number 5.
Did you get the Frozen?
Yeah, I've been enjoying that series. You read that?
No, I have not read it, but I love Frozen art, so I'm just tempted to read that based on that. Yeah, and all day covers are good too.
Yeah, so. She doesn't do the interiors, but she did a couple of variants, I think. I know she did the first variant at least. And Strangers in Paradise. We were just talking about that. I have to get the 3rd Strangers in Paradise book. You can see it actually right there.
There it is. Yeah, I love another homage. I loved Conan the Barbarian. What Aaron's doing. So I wanted to pick up Savage Sword of Conan. Duggan, and it was okay. It's a start. I think the other one is better. But I'm gonna try to read them all. And they have nice little novellas at the end. I like the little short stories.
Yeah, I always liked the novellas at the end of the Conan books when I was a kid. Those were always so much fun.
I haven't had a chance to read anything else yet because I just got home from work and jumped onto this. So now that we've calmed down a little bit and are all friends again, we were really struggling this week as to what we're going to do next week. So we just decided that's going to be our debate topic.
Okay.
What should we read next week? So
because there is a lot of shit out there.
There's some strange picks. So initially I suggested there's a new Valiant book coming out, but I think it's an event book, and so I feel like that might be a lot to jump into.
That last event book was pretty good. The Wars or whatever. I forgot what it was even called. That's the sequel. Man, what was it? It's like where all the characters are like all together.
Unity?
Not Unity. I forgot what it was called, but it was pretty good, surprisingly.
Yeah. No, Valiant is doing some good stuff, I think. I've been a fan for forever, so I have not really kept up on the newer stuff, but so there's that book. There is a new Malar World verse book called Sharky the something.
Sharky Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, Sharky the Bounty Hunter, which I don't know much about other than it looks kind of funky.
Yeah, it's a new image. Jackio says Harbinger Wars 2. That's what it was. There you go. Thank you, Jackio.
There is a new Vertigo title called...
Is that the Jesus one?
It's got a robot in it.
Oh, yeah. It looks like Ratchet and Clank kind of thing.
Yes. But
Incursion, and then high level is the Vertigo.
Yes. Or there's this super weird new Marvel romance book that looks
called Love. Was it? Shoot. Love Romances #1. It's a Marvel book, like bizarre science fiction kind of stuff.
Robots weird.
Looks monster weird.
I got she said Stronghold #1. I don't know what that is. I did not see that on the list.
Yeah. Right. So there's just not a whole lot. Now there are some people shouting out Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Is that next week?
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm unaware of what's coming out next week.
Who's publishing that book? Stronghold. I got issues.
Stronghold 1, Stronghold 1, Stronghold 1. I think Issues is curious about this Stronghold 1 book.
Oh, we could do Dazzler #1 facsimile edition.
Oh, good God.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
First.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2
is next week.
Out, yeah, but I was not planning on reading that, or at least buying
Sorry,
it.
Hulk Nuts. I am really not interested in the Hulk Marines #1.
Hulk Marines is not
I'm going to read it. I've been following all the Weapon H and even,
I've got the Weapon H.
Even Damage.
I enjoyed
reading all this.
I enjoyed the Weapon H well enough. I just I don't trust Marvel to make anything good out of that. I really don't.
It's Aftershock, huh? Let me see.
It's a hit or miss thing. I love the Immortal Hulk, but everything with this Return of Wolverine has been an absolute debacle, and I just am like, what are they going to make out of this now? They're just going to. This could not go well.
Yeah, that's kind of how Weapon H last issue ended. You know, it was Dario, and he's like, all right, my next step in the evil plan, and it just shows like Wolverine and Hulk. It's like, okay, well, we knew that was coming already from like previews. So.
Stronghold 1 sounds pretty cool.
What's the publisher?
Aftershock.
I don't know.
What's the premise? You want to tell us?
Yes, let me read it to you. It says, our planet is actually a prison designed to both trap and shelter an amnesiac alien entity of incalculable power. Now known as Michael Gray, the cosmic angel of destruction currently believes himself to be an ordinary Midwestern insurance underwriter who belongs to a global secret society dedicated to making sure he never discovers the truth about his past. To make matters worse, our hero has fallen in love with Michael Gray, and for their love to be born, Earth must die. Phil Hester from The Coffin, Deathstroke, The Darkness and Shipwreck, and Ryan Kelly, Wiccan the Divine, Lucifer, Saucer Country, weave a tale of cosmic horror, high adventure, and tragic romance unlike anything else in comics.
Sounds decent. I'll check it out.
It's just a question of it being available, because not all shops order smaller books like that.
Yeah, Aftershock can be one of those. It's
but if you, I bet, call up your shop, I don't know, it might be too late at this point.
I like Aftershock a lot. I always pick up a Walk Through Hell. I like Garth Ennis, so
yeah, I keep meaning to catch up on that because I've heard it's mostly from I Got Issues that it's very good. And
Dark Arc, I also get Dark Arc from Cullen Bunn.
Yeah, I just read Blossom 666.
Sweet.
Cullen Bunn wrote that. I liked it. It was.
I Got Issues says he wants to point out that the last time we couldn't pick a book, he just said we should do Middle West, and then we agreed with him, and look how that book turned out.
Well, you don't run our show. I Got Issues. We'll take it into consideration. And
I will agree with you. Issues. I'm going to be probably getting Guardians 2 and Old Man Quill 2, but I don't know how much longer I'll go with either one of those. So
I'm looking forward to Old Man Quill 2. You know, I really loved Old Man Hawkeye, and I feel like the first issue was just a good
fully
setup.
agree. Old Man Hawkeye was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Old Man Quill was just a setup, so we'll see what happens. And apparently it's going to be like more Old Man Doom involved, apparently.
Oh, I'm excited to see that then. Stick around.
I love Doom.
Yes, same.
Both the character and the genre of metal.
Oh, same. That's awesome.
I thought you just meant an overwhelming feeling of despair.
That's every day.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you met me? Cool. Well, I guess we're going to be chatting about doom metal in a bit after we get off the air here.
We got some early Dust with Frazetta cover.
Yeah, I saw that. Or we can just talk about doom metal now and leave John feeling really out of the loop. Were you in the chat the other day when he referred to Slayer as hair metal, and I almost lost my mind. I don't even remember if that was live. I think it was in our auction, right?
It probably was.
Yeah, I'm actually putting on a show here in Pittsburgh. I have this one meme page called Slow Heavy Metal Music Playing, and I kind of trying to turn into like more of like get more involved in like the music scene and stuff. So put on this show at my work. I work at a vinyl record distributor and record label, And so we sold out like the show in like a week, and it's Thou is playing, and Emma Ruth Grundle, she's more like a folk musician, but yeah, very, very excited for that show.
I have seen both of them. Same. And the weird thing about Thou is that they never seem to like actually play. They do like every time they do a show, it's like something different. They don't just like play their stuff. It's like, oh, we're doing a weird acoustic set, or like we're doing this, which is cool. But sometimes I just want to hear the record.
Yeah, same. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get. And like this tour, they like specifically requested like no like metal bands as like
which
openers
is why
and stuff.
Emma Ruth Rundle is playing with them.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think they're playing like 2 or 3 shows within driving distance of me. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
John is like glazing over right now.
I'm joking in the chat with I got issues. He said it's okay, John. You can. I like Peter Cetera too.
For John Tesh.
Yeah, my old band, like we played with Thou probably 3 different times, and they had to use my equipment one time, and I was like, how'd they make my equipment sound so good? Like, what'd they do? This sounds so much better.
That's awesome. Well, we'll have to chat more about that when other people who aren't interested aren't depending on us for entertainment.
Word.
Well, I got issues with like I like Motown, so he can't participate. Oh, yeah. I was going to say like Motown and like 50s, 60s soul music. That's my jam.
New Charles Bradley album just came out. You know, rest in peace to Charles Bradley. But new album just came out. It's amazing. Nice. Highly recommend it.
I only listen to metal. It's not true. We need a music show. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's do a metal show together at Misexplained.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in. I'm down. So down.
It's done.
Definitely.
Yes. I got all sorts of new shows coming up, or in the works.
Yeah. What you going to?
I heard Jesper was hinting at something. I love that guy. I don't know if you watch. Do you watch Jesper Nikolaj Christensen? He's got a great YouTube channel on here that is absolutely phenomenal. Just want to throw that out there. He's fully worth your time. And his last video was killer. I've never seen somebody do like new comic book haul and personal like thoughts on life. Yeah. Like, so beautifully put together.
Ah, it's awesome. I got to check that out.
Yeah, he's tremendous. He's from
Denmark.
Denmark, yes. And so we're trying to figure out how to work that to do a live show. But
cool.
We're talking.
That's awesome.
It's going to happen. It's just a question of how and when. But
yeah,
we're chatting next week, and Matt and I, Thanatos, are thinking about doing something new, just for fun, if our schedules can align. Because apparently they can't for the next like 3 weeks. Thanks, John.
Geez.
What did I do for 3 weeks?
I don't know. He said like, "Oh, I've got a live stream with John this week already."
Yeah, one. The guy's never done a show with me once. Like, what the? He's done shows with everybody else. Like,
and then
one time.
And then maybe John and I, or I'm going to be on John's Top 5 show soonish.
Yes, last second. Just so you know, last second we put together a Top 5 show because Comic Smurf. Caleb Murphy is going on a vacation and won't be able to do any live streaming for like a week and a half. So we fit it in his schedule. So tomorrow night on my channel, we'll have the Comic Smurf on to do top 5 comic book writers. And apparently I need to read more Brubaker before that happens. I may have left somebody off my list.
Oh, boy. Hell yeah.
Top 5 metal bands. I got to choose. Not only have you been on our show, you have a show of your own, and you've been on one of Tony's shows. So I would say no one whoever wants to do anything with me is a gross exaggeration. So, yeah, I mean, it's late. I think we should.
So did we settle on?
No, we didn't. That's right. We were supposed to debate which book we're reading. Should we put it to a vote, or do we just want to decide? Because we're the bosses of our own destiny.
Well, it sounds like Issues. You and I need to do a top 5 soul or Motown music breakdown. So Sam Cooke will be on there for sure.
New documentary. Did you guys watch that yet? The new Netflix Sam Cooke documentary.
Oh, now you're talking. I gotta get on that.
It looks awesome. I heard nothing but great reviews, so I'm probably gonna watch that sometime soon.
That sounds excellent. Sam Cooke is my jam. So it sounds like Stronghold is in the running. Should we have like 3 picks and then just let the audience just pick?
Yeah, sure.
So Alec, besides Stronghold, what do you want to throw in the running?
I always default to Vertigo.
So what was the Vertigo one again? I can't remember the title.
Me either.
When's the next American Carnage issue coming out? I liked American Carnage. I don't know.
That's
a
great
if you guys
question.
liked it or not.
But the Vertigo book is called High Level.
High Level.
We
got down.
We got a couple Old Man Quill 2s in here.
And then what was the other one called? Stronghold? Okay. And did you have one that you wanted us to throw in here, Jason?
I'd probably say Old Man Quill 2.
Okay, that'll be the third
pick.
pick.
Oh, wait. I heard someone, I Got Issues says American Carnage is next week also. So I don't know.
I don't even know what American Carnage is.
It's
I'm
almost
assuming
like,
it has nothing to do with Spider-Man and enemies.
No, it's a white passing, African-American male who's like undercover FBI, and he goes into this like seedy kind of underworld of like racism that's tied in with like politics and mayor and stuff, and gets pretty dicey. Yeah, it's pretty hot stuff. I feel like it could
How many
be
issues have they done so far?
This is, I think, going to be issue 3 coming out, I believe, 3 or 4. But yeah, I feel like it would make a great TV show or a movie, and I'm just waiting for someone to snatch that up.
Might be a tough one to jump in though on a 3rd issue.
I'll Take the Time Collectible said it's issue 4.
4 ships 220.
Well, yeah, I think that might be a tough one to jump in on.
True. Yeah. You'd have to start from the beginning. I agree.
So I think the better choice maybe would be Guardians 2, because we did Guardians 1. High Level and Stronghold. Does that seem fair, Alec, or do you just want to do 2 picks, High Level and Stronghold?
That's fine.
What do you want? I'm down.
No, I think putting in a more you don't want to put like all indie stuff in there, because some people prefer
okay.
Some depressing stuff. Yeah, man.
So starting right now, the votes count. These are the 3 books: Guardians issue 2, High Level issue 1, Stronghold issue 1.
We got one for Old Man Quill 2. We've got one for Sharky the Bounty Hunter.
And those are not options. So those votes are discounted. Katie, you're out. Doomed and Confused is out. There's a lot of Murder Falcon love going on right now. I abstain. So far, everybody says they don't want to read the 3 books that we're choosing.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Old Man Quill in here, though. Yeah.
Wow. Got 1 Guardians. Wait, where's Issues? Issues 1 in Stronghold. The guy hasn't said a word. Just silence. Absolute radio silence over there.
He's zoned in on Motown albums.
Wow.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Fu Manchu, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Takes the Time says when all else fails, go Vertigo. That was my thought. Guardians will be good.
Guardians.
Wow.
God,
Alex, like, fudge. Why did we let the audience pick on this?
No, that's fine. Hey, I'm a man of the people. This show is for all of you, not for me. I don't think Guardians run away from it.
All right.
From it, I mean me.
This will be our 3rd deuce. 4th if you count Panda.
Nailed it. I was going to say 4th if you count Captain Marvel.
That's better. That was a way better joke. That's why you're the funniest guy on YouTube.
Not part of your scene, just bought Optic Nerve, by the way. Hope I didn't lead you astray. It is super indie. All right, fine. Guardians of the Galaxy #2, Donny Cates, can't go wrong.
All right.
The air quotes was my favorite part. Oh, man.
So, at least it's on your channel.
Oh, man.
It'd be like 6 watching.
And our guest, we have already booked, is Sasquatch 210.
I hope he's okay with that pick.
What's that?
I hope he's okay with that pick.
I just let him know. We'll see what happens. He might revolt. But he has a YouTube channel that's really great, and he's on Instagram as well. You can definitely search him out, Sasquatch 210. He will be joining us for that next week.
Yes, sir.
Tight.
Yeah, we've had pandas and Sasquatches now. I don't know where you fit in there, Jason.
Yeah, I don't
know. Either of you guys have anything you'd like to shout out or promote?
Yeah, Jason, you got anything coming up on your channel you're doing?
Yeah, I might do some little segments on some Vampirellas I've been picking up recently.
TJ will be excited about that.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of older stuff. Yeah.
Those are all magazine size ones, right?
Yeah, all magazine size, and they got an Erie Frazetta,
Sick.
So yeah, pretty excited to kind of flip through those very carefully. I might have to start getting white gloves.
I got a pair.
Got a good pair.
I got a pair. Gotta have them.
Yeah, and then also we got the Comic Core Unlimited coming up in 2 weeks. Shout out to that show coming up. It's gonna be fun. We got our little topic things kind of in the mix happening. Shout out to the chat, all the homies in there.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Everyone on this late night, especially East Coasters NYC.
We hope you're all picking up Criminal and continue to pick it up because it's 2 thumbs up from at least 2/3 of us.
We got at least 4 thumbs, maybe a 5th. I don't know. Johnny.
If I'd read issue 1, I would have gotten issue 2, and so I did.
There you go. I don't like wearing gloves when I read my comics because it's hard to get the Cheeto dust off. I think you're mixing up video game nerds and comic nerds.
It's true. Also shout out to you guys for having me and asking me, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
I'm really happy to be here. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you were so passionate about Criminal when we were doing our best books of January.
It's so good.
Like, definitely.
So good.
We're going to be doing Criminal too. This is the guy to have for sure.
Yeah. So good.
It was like having TJ on for Daredevil. It was like, okay, we know who the guest should be.
Sense.
So yeah, thank you. It was great meeting you meeting you.
Yeah, likewise. New Doom brother. So
yeah, hell yeah, man. Low and slow.
That's right.
Live slow, die old.
If it's too slow, you're too young.
Yeah. Love it. On that note, I think we're going to call it a night. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. My name has been Alec, and I suppose will continue to be.
You feel like a waiter at Arby's.
It's like it's 12:30 here. Okay. Bye.
Bye.